Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today we're going over the 22 books that I really want to get to in 2022. So in no particular order, I'm just going to go through these books, give a couple reasons why they are on this list. I'm not going to do any synopsis for any of these because most of them I can't remember the whole synopsis, and otherwise I just want to go into it knowing what I know and hope for the best. So beginning with the first one, we have Jade Fire Gold, and this one has been said to be like Zuko and Katara if they were together or getting together, and that was all I needed. I wanted to start off with this one first because I have my Avatar shirt on, but I've heard some good things about this. I've heard some mixed things about this, but I just want to go into this with the Zuko and Katara relationship pairing and see what this book has to offer. Next, I want to talk about Voice of War, and this is an adult fantasy. I have not heard a lot about this. I did hear Jessie May talk about it, and that was the reason it got on my radar to begin with. Also, I can't remember all the authors' names, but they will be here on their pictures. But this one has unique magic, threadlight, and it kind of follows these 3 point of views, and they end up, I think, coming together, but the one has to kind of figure out what's going on with people using this threadlight. Something's happening, I believe. Jessie May makes it sound so good, so check out her channel if you haven't, but this one is definitely a priority on my TBR list that never stops growing. Next is a more known book, and that is For the Wolf, and this is, I've heard it kind of said to be Little Red Riding Hood, but also Beauty and the Beast, but any kind of fairy tale retelling, even with those two things, sounds amazing. I think we've got sisters, and like every so many years or whatever, one gets sacrificed to the woods where the wolf is, and the other one gets the throne. But I think wintry setting, a romance, I believe, and so that has me really intrigued to get this, and it's higher up on my TBR than some of the other books because I would like to read it for the Polarthon hosted by Jade Reads. Next I have These Hollow Vows, and the reason this is on this list is because it's compared to ACOTAR. It's also compared to The Cruel Prince, but I wasn't a huge fan of that, but the ACOTAR really got me, and of course Fae. So anytime I find a YA book that has a Fae kind of thing going on it, we know there's going to be some romance, and you know it's going to be good, hopefully. The next one on this list is The Thousand Deaths of Ardor Ben by Tyler Whiteside. Again, chunky adult fantasy. I've heard good things about it, and I've heard okay things about it. This follows Ardor Ben, and I believe he's hired, he's a thief. I believe he's hired to steal the king's crown because it's made of this rare material that people are really searching for because it's almost gone. So, you know, we have a kind of heist, but we also have a team of forgers, disguisers, schemers, and thieves that are part of the group that are going to, I believe, go after this crown. So that sounded really fun to me, action-packed, maybe found family, who knows, but it sounds really good, and I love the cover of this. It's stunning. The next one I have is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson, I believe, and I love anything that has multiple dimensions in it. I don't know why, it just really intrigues me to get to see like different ways of like our world, but turned differently with different things. Like, could just be like my hair's brown, so maybe in this other dimension my hair's pink. Maybe I don't read books in the other dimension. Maybe I like photography. You know, just those things. It really is intriguing to me. So this one, I've heard okay things about, but I think that I am going to love it, hopefully. so it is also on this list. The next one I'm really excited to get to. I have a video planned for it, but that is The Next Together by Lauren James, and the reason this is on here because it has to deal with reincarnation romance, I believe. I'm a sucker for those. I don't know, I just love the thought of like being reincarnated and finding your love over and over and over again, and the emotions that go with it. So this one is on this list. The next one on this list is Dear Love, I Hate You, and it is simply on this list because it was paired to Punk 57. That was all I needed. Next up, we have The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. That's a reason why it's on this list. Grady Hendrix. I love Horror Store and the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Wow, that's a mouthful. I love those two books, and I really think that even though this book was said to be his kind of least favorite among people, I still think I'm gonna really love it, so I'm excited to get to that one this year. Next, I have Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is on this list simply because it is one of my oldest books. I have a few of those on this list, but I really want to get to it already. It's a very popular book. It's got like mixed media elements to it. It is a very long book though. It's like over 500 pages. It's like almost 600 pages, I believe. But yeah, I know it's like someone has died and this detective or journalist or whatever is trying to figure out what happened. So that's on the list. Next, I have Hydra by Matt Weslowski. I love the first book in the series, 6 stories. It surrounds a podcast, and this guy does 6 podcast segments, and they follow different people surrounding a crime that has happened. The first one, you're following one crime, and I know each book is like a different crime that has happened, and you're kind of getting the story from all these perspectives. And the first one had so many good twists and turns, and it was very atmospheric, and it creeped me out in different parts of it, and I absolutely loved it, and I can't believe I haven't gotten to this book. So I really need to get to it this year. Next, I have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love The Naturals by this author, one of my favorite series. I will try to read anything she writes after that series, so I want to give this one a try. It's compared to Knives Out, which I have seen and I also really enjoyed. And I believe this girl, she gets this money from this guy when he dies, but no one knows why because she doesn't know him. And so there's like this mystery, but I think to get this inheritance, she has to stay with his family for a year, I think, or something, and chaos ensues. Next, I have The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons, and I simply put this on here because the hype right now for this book series is real. It's pulled me in. Jade Reed likes it. Lynn Reads is doing a buddy read for it. Pierre Ford has talked about it. I see Becca in the Books is going to be reading it. So just everyone's kind of talking about this book series, and I went in on that hype. I'm tired of missing out, so that one will be read hopefully this month in January. Next, I have an older book, and that is The Young Elites. It's all dusty. This is by Marie Lu. Again, another old book on my TBR that I just want to get to. I hear so many good things about Marie Lu's writing. I have the whole trilogy, and I just want to get to it. This is, I think, like an anti-hero story, and that really intrigues me. So I think I can fly through this series pretty quickly. So hopefully I power through and get to some of these old books on my TBR. This next one is another chunky one, and that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is book 1 of The Dark Artifices, and this follows, I believe, Emma, Julian, I think Mark maybe? I don't know. But I reread The Infernal Devices and The Mortal Instruments, and I read the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, but then I never continued on with this, and that was in 2020. So I took a little bit of a break, but I've heard so many good things about this series. I just need to get to it already. I'm tired of putting it off. It is big. All of the books in the series are big, but I hear so many good things about it, and I kind of just miss being in this world. It's kind of like a nostalgia, cozy feeling when I get into Cassandra Clare's books, so maybe soon. This next one, I have no excuses. I've just been slacking. And that is Crescent City, or House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas is a favorite author of mine. This came out, was it last year? Or the year before that? Now I need to know. So this came out in 2020. I cannot believe I haven't read this yet. I have the audiobook for it. This is a very big book. I think it's like over 700 pages. But this is Sarah J. Maas's first foray kind of into the adult genre, although Court of Mist and Fury was a little new adult-y, so take it as you will. But everyone loves this book. They say it is a little long, but you know, anything she writes, I don't care. I love that she writes long books because then I get to be in her writing and in her worlds with her characters longer. So this one I would like to read before the second one comes out in February, so might be reading this in February. Next I have Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nouvelle. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. It is sci-fi. All I know is like this girl one day I think is riding her bike or something and she falls through the ground into a metal palm of like a metal giant or something, and it kind of follows through interviews and stuff. All these different pieces or like metal giants being discovered all over the world. And that really has me intrigued. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but when I do, they are usually hyped ones and they're catching people's interest, and I believe that I will also like them. Next, I have These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is one of my oldest books. I own the whole trilogy. The covers are stunning, which is why I own the whole trilogy. I tried to read this once and then I put it down. I think it was only like the first chapter though, but I really need to try again. I've had these for so long. I love the covers. I hope that the inside of each of these books is just as beautiful as the outside, and I just really need to get to this already. Next, I have another hyped sci-fi, and that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I know that this is like first contact with aliens. I know that this was a Goodreads favorite book of 2021, and I hear nothing but good things about it. That's all I need. Like, I read The Martian by him and I really enjoyed it. I didn't read anything else by him, but I think this one sounds more up my alley than the other two that recently came out previously, and fingers crossed. I have no doubt that this will get 5 stars from me. Next, I have The Ravens, and this is by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. I really enjoyed The 100 Show, which is based on the books Cass Morgan wrote. And this one, I know it follows a sorority of witches. I believe there's 2 point of views in here, and I've heard some good things, that this is like a fun slasher mystery thriller kind of book. And I know the second one, which is, I believe this is a duology. I know the second one comes out this month in January, I believe, but I'm excited to get to this one. This cover is stunning, and it just sounds like a fun time. Next, I have a book that I've been wanting to read for so long, and I think the hype has me a little intimidated, but that is Vicious by Ve Schwab. So in this one, we follow Eli and Victor, and they do experiments in college, I believe, and they finally figure out that to get powers, you have to have kind of like you have to die, or you have to have a life or death experience. And somehow, you know, something goes wrong and they hate each other. One's a villain, or they're both villains, or morally gray. Everyone loves this series. I am a sucker for kind of like superheroes, super villains. I read Renegades by Marisha Meyer and really enjoyed that series, and I know this will probably be nothing like that, but the vibes that this is giving off sounds amazing, and I just need to get to it already. Last but not least on this list is They Never Learn. This is a mystery thriller, and it follows, I believe, I don't know if she's a professor, maybe. Once a year, she murders a male at this college campus who is not a good person at all. They have done something wrong, maybe to women, I think. So this book has a little bit of revenge, and I believe there's like the original woman who like murders stuff, and then I think there's another character where something happens and somehow these two characters get together and chaos ensues. And like, this is just, it sounds so amazing. Not that I would ever condone murder, but like in a book, yes. So, you know, strong women killing disgusting men in a college campus setting. Count me in. I've heard so many good things about this book. Everyone that reads it seems to love it, and I hope I am one of those people. We got through all 22 books that I would really like to make a priority for 2022. Like this video if you liked it. Comment down below telling me if you've read any of these books and whether you like them or not, and maybe which ones I should prioritize over the others. And subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.